Hi everybody, happy Friday. It's another story here for you. This time it's called Cockatoos and it's written by someone who we might all recognise, Quentin Black. Now normally he's not an author, normally you might recognise him from our illustrations from our Roald Dahl books, but this time he's written the book for you guys to enjoy, so I hope you do. Professor Dupont had 10 cockatoos. He was very proud of them. Every morning he jumped out of bed, he took a shower and he cleaned his teeth, as he always did. He got dressed and he tied his tie, as he always did. He adjusted his spectacles, as he always did, and he went downstairs. He went into the conservatory. There were all his cockatoos, every single one. Professor Dupont threw wide his arms. He said, "Good morning, my fine feathered friends." And there are all his cockatoos. Every morning he said the same thing. The day came when the cockatoos thought they would go mad if they had to listen to the same words once again. They decided to have some sport with Professor Dupont. One after another they escaped through the broken pane of the glass they had discovered in a corner of the conservatory. Next morning Professor Dupont came into the conservatory and threw wide his arms. There was not a cockatoo in sight. Where could all the cockatoos have got to? Professor Dupont went into the dining room. They weren't there. He went to look in the kitchen. Hortense the cook was there, boiling an egg for his breakfast, but they weren't any cockatoos. He went to look in the bedroom. They weren't there. He looked in the bathroom. They weren't there. He looked in the lavatory. They weren't there. He climbed a ladder and flashed his torch around the attic. They weren't there. He even climbed up to the roof, but they weren't there. Professor Dupont went to look in the garage. His car was there, but there weren't any cockatoos. He went down into the cellar, but he couldn't see any cockatoos there either. Professor Dupont was at his wits' end. He couldn't find his cockatoos anywhere. Where could they possibly have got to? Professor Dupont spent a restless night. The next morning he jumped out of bed, he took a shower and he cleaned his teeth, as he always did. He got dressed and he tied his tie, as he always did. He adjusted his spectacles, as he always did, and he went downstairs. Uh-oh, what do you think he's going to find? Professor Dupont went into the conservatory. There were all his cockatoos, where they always were. Every single one. Professor Dupont threw wide his arms. He said, "Good morning, my fine feathered friends." Some people never learn. And look, there's the cockatoo sneaking out the window again. I hope you enjoyed that story. This one really makes me laugh every time I read it, so I hope it made you laugh too. I'll see you next week for another story. Bye, guys.